Hello nieces, hello nephews, it's your Uncle Charles here and welcome back to my YouTube channel where we do unbiased price action analysis. You know what they say, it's bearish until it isn't, just like it was bullish, until it wasn't. And right now it's bearish until it isn't, guys. We got a new low, still getting lower highs and lower lows, guys. That's the price actions behavior, and because that's the price action behavior, it's bearish. All right. Overall bullish, of course, in like the medium term, longer term, of course, it's bullish, right? But in the shorter term, it's bearish. So what do we need for the SPY to turn bullish in the short term as well? And that's what we're going to talk about. We got to identify those shorter term levels so that we can trade it. Sometimes, a lot of times, we look at the macro and it's important. We look at the bigger picture, and it's always important to look at the bigger picture. But it's also important to look at the smaller details, okay? As far as the medium-term trend goes, I still have that uptrend since April of 2024, April of earlier this year, April 19th low all the way up to all-time highs to July 16th high. And I'm not sure if it was in my last video or if I spoke about it in my Discord video, but we spoke about being a Fibonacci trader and how we like to pay attention to what's referred to as the golden zone or the golden pocket, whatever you want to call it. There's so many different names, but the word golden is in there. It's golden. Why? Because usually when we get a correction like we are now, the golden zone is usually where the correction finds a bottom. What is the golden zone? You'll get different answers from different traders. Some will say the golden zone is between the 61.8 fib level to the 38.2 fib level. It's between that zone. And some will say it's the 50 to the 61.8 fib level. And some will say no, it has to be the 61.8 fib level, right? Around there. We are in that golden zone now, or at least heading to it. We gapped below the 38.2 fib level, which is at 538. Gap below it, treated like resistant, went down lower. And then we went to hit the 50% fib level and found some buying pressure there, which is around 529.5. Also have another shorter term fib level around 528.5. So that's a zone. And that's where we got buying pressure. Okay? So now we do these because we need to know where are the critical levels, potential levels that other people could be watching, that we're watching. All right. So the bottom line is we don't know what's going to happen in the future. All we can do is react. So we need to know the levels and setups so we can trade it unbiasedly in real time. Okay. And the support level that I have right now is at 531, 529.5, 528.5, 527, and 525. Those levels fail, more downside is possible. All right, I'll definitely look to short at 531 and 529.5 fails as support. I'll definitely look to short. Some might feel like, oh, you think it's chasing. We dropped a lot. Well, I'm just following the price action level to level. It's either going to work or it's not. If it doesn't, I'll cut loss and reset for the next one. Hopefully it does work. Okay? You never know with these things. But yeah, we break down those support levels. We're shorting. Uncle's shorting at least. And I'll definitely be bearish below 528.5. That's a loss of a fib level and loss of Friday's low. Okay? As usual, we don't want to trust a bounce unless we recover some lost levels. Now, even though in the shorter term we're getting those lower lows and lower highs, we still can get bounces. And a lot of time the bounces are tradable, at least for a level-to-level move. And if we are going to get a tradable bounce, a few levels need to clear. First level is 534. The fifth level is 533.87. But I'm around at 534. That's the level I'll be watching. 535.5 and 537 above. We cleared those levels. 538 fib level, the medium term level, would be in play. And above that, if we clear it, I would favor we go fill in the gap. The gap is actually around 543. Interesting level, that 543 level, because it was actually a dark pool level. It's almost like big money just dumped it. Anyways, you know, when big money, because they got big money, when they decide to take profits, the market moves because so many shares and stuff is being moved. So they can move the market. Market makers love them. Anyways, so that's what I need to see to favor a bounce. 534, 535.5, and 537 clear. And then I'd favor the gap fill on 543. Above 543, I think we can get a third touch of this green trend line. Now, I had this green trend line like this before. And you guys can see here, we had like a false breakout setup, which this is why my last video I said the bulls fail, because we had a false breakout. But with the follow through of this drop right here, I had to respect this as a top or a lower top or a lower high. So now because of that, I adjusted the trend line. It looks like a flag or whatever. Okay. So if we can clear 537 and 543, possibly go touch the flag, which could send SPY back up to 550-ish. Big possibility. All right. But that's only possible if we clear 534, 535.5, and 537. Because if we drop and we break down 531 and 529.5, bearish, and I'll favor more downside. Okay, guys? Triple Q. I'll need to adjust this a bit. The reason why I adjust it because the amount of follow through and selling pressure from this point, from this top, this high right here, it was definitely downside and continued the bearishness. So I'm going to respect that and adjust my trend line to that spot. Okay, that's why I'm doing that. And you guys see we have fib levels. I started it from June 24th low up to all-time highs. And we had a 200% fib level, retracement level at 444. Well, Triple Q hit that level and found some buying pressure. For there to be follow through on the buying pressure, I need to see 449 and 450.5 clear. Okay, that will put 452, 454, 455.5 in play. And above that, we could possibly go fill the gap around 459-ish. A third touch of this green trend line would need Triple Q to get back to the high 469, 470 zone. So we're not going to talk about that just yet unless Triple Q, we're not going to worry about it just yet unless Triple Q can clear 449 and 450.5 to trigger those moves to the upside. Because below 450.5 and 449, then more downside would still be possible. Breaking down 447, 445.5 will put a second test of 444 in play. And remember, the more a level gets tested, the weaker it gets. So we already tested 444. And if there's no follow through, if it ends up being a dead cat bounce and 444 fails, bearish. This bearish trend that we had since early July continues. All right. Tesla also been looking bearish in the short term. Broke down a fib level around 213. Closed just above the next fib level. The 1.618 fib level was 213. Lost it. And then we hit the 1.786 fib level, which is at 207.5. Closed just above it. So from here, it's quite simple. We lose 207.5, and last week's low was around 205.7-ish. Lose those two levels, more downside possible. 204, 202, 200.5, and 199-ish would be in play. Okay? If we're going to get a bounce, 209, 211, and 213 must recapture. If we recapture those levels, I'll look to long, and I'll play a bounce to the upside. All right? Above 213, I got 215, 216.8-ish. 219, 221 or higher in play. NVDA had a beautiful sell-off on last Thursday. Friday, got a beautiful gap down, but we found some buying pressure intraday. All right. Can the buying pressure continue? To avoid being a dead cat bounce, 109 and 111 must clear to put 112.3, 113.7, and 115 in play. Okay, guys, trade with the traps. If we're going to call a bottom, do it with the traps. We'll need a false breakdown setup, recapture of some lost levels. All right? Now, if more downside is the plan, then 106.8 must break down as support. Around 107 to 106.8. And below that, I got 105 and the next fib level at 103.8 in play. If that level fails, and I'm thinking the next leg could break down those levels, I'm favoring we go test 100. Critical fib level, 100. And it could bounce, but we'll see. But definitely 100 would definitely be a target I am eyeing. But if it does fail and it doesn't show buying pressure, then I'd be eyeing the gap fill around 95-ish in play next. All right, guys. So let's take a look at the flows. Let's end this with the flows. And here was dark pool, as you guys know, 543, as mentioned earlier in the video. Triple Q, 559.7-ish. That's where most of activity was. Tesla, 207.67. 94% of activity was there. So NVDA, 107.27. 74% of activity was there. 23% was at 109.2. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching Uncle's video. Definitely consider joining my Discord. I'd love to serve you guys at a higher level. Other than that, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Peace.